Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. It's Grant, it's BSJ, it's Kyle. We're ready to carry you into the abyss of suffering. But first off, Kyle, first series today. How are you feeling, champ?
I'm feeling so good right now. I slept until like 10 p.m.
Damn.
And I am ready to rumble with two living legends seated on my right. I can't ask for better company for a midnight madness.
Yeah, this is going to be the best NA's got to offer as of now, at least in my opinion, from VGJ.Storm. We got NA Dota. We got NA Casting. What else can you ask for?
Maybe the best Western captain of all time on the other side? Puppy?
That's pretty good, too.
I would say he's pretty good. I don't know, man. Is Secret actually back, or were they just in an easy group is what I want to ask first off.
I think that they're more back than they were in previous tournaments when we asked this question. But their group was also definitely easier.
I didn't get to see a single Secret game, so I didn't see how they won.
Me either.
All right, well, let's we can pull up their drafts real quick.
That's
There you go.
what's great. Look at that. Man, people told me I kind of look like Ace. I don't look nothing like him.
Do you play like him?
Yeah. You're missing
I don't even
like
play Dota. I'm just kidding.
he's got those like
He's got the Harry Potter
the light,
glasses.
yeah, the light
Yeah.
Scandic eyes,
That too.
the sex appeal,
Yeah.
and
And then you
Yeah.
got Grant.
Then you got me. Know what the hard part is? Okay, so I finally started drinking tea. When you stir honey into tea, how do you keep the stick to not on the tea bag? Like, I don't get it.
get this ad out of here. Who the hell's that guy?
Is that me? Oh, that's me on the left side. Cool. No, but seriously, how do you, like, stir a tea bag without, like, getting it stuck?
Huh?
Am I just, like, you see?
I don't know.
I heard you bring out the tea bag, and I just stopped.
Are you supposed to?
Yeah.
I just stopped listening.
Oh, okay.
BSJ's not really that experienced with teabagging.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
He was only.
Did you ever play Call of Duty?
I did play Call of Duty.
Which ones?
All the Modern Warfares and like the ones with Nazi zombies, but that sucked. But they had the Nazi zombies.
Okay, Black Ops. Gotcha.
Yeah, and
All right.
World of War and stuff like that.
That's good. Kyle, what about you? Are you just an all Han Dota kind of guy, or
I
do you
mean-
ever experiment?
my
With
College.
video games.
With video games.
didn't go to college, so I lost a few.
Life experiences, maybe.
Yeah, I never got to sit through a few lectures, but
Yeah.
I played like Warcraft 3, like StarCraft, Warcraft for
Oh,
like
yeah.
my bread and butter, right? And then I played World of Warcraft from like sophomore through senior year of high school. So that was probably a poor decision.
Nah.
The greatest times of gaming, like I would say memory-wise.
Yeah, oh,
like,
absolutely.
Burning Crusade was actually the shit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't like do anything
but
with
that.
my life. Yeah,
Which
it
is
was-
fair. Hey, no, you're here now.
used to-
You're here with
At
BS
least you're
freaking
keeping it
Jet.
consistent, though.
Yeah,
right?
you're keeping it Kyle, baby.
I used to pretend to go to sleep, and then like from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. before school, I would do 10 mans, right? Because you
Yeah.
do 25 mans at night,
Yeah.
and then you gotta do the hardcore, and then I would just sacrifice sleep. And now look at me,
Look at where
doing the same.
Yeah, my mom
Still
told
for
me growing
games.
up that I would not make any money from video games.
Well, she was sure wrong.
Jokes on her.
Did your parents, like, being serious about that, like, did your parents, like, threaten to kick you out of the house ever or do stuff like that, like, because you played so many video
When
games?
I was super young or like in college?
Like, college, high school.
And their philosophy was as long as I'm doing the rest of my life, meaning like getting decent grades in school,
Yeah.
like I was participating in sports and like having some semblance of a life, they were okay with whatever I chose to do in my free time. And I think that's a decent philosophy.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're not dropping the ball in any other regard, I don't think any hobby or habits okay, most hobbies and habits are not unhealthy.
Could you give me some examples of unhealthy habits? Just so I'm like, I don't know really know where you're going.
Cocaine.
But what if you were like a mathematician or a really famous comedian and you really had to stay awake?
What do you think? Nahas does cocaine?
No.
What are you trying to say here?
No, yeah, that's good. No, I'm just saying because my parents, I remember, I started playing like Pro Dota 1 and even into Heroes of New Earth, and they said if you're not doing 8 hours of work and 8 hours of school, you have to leave our house.
Holy,
Wow.
so 16
And that's why I stopped
hours?
playing. That's why I just stopped playing, yeah.
Good lord.
That was
That's
every
what they said.
day.
That was
I
for
got
a week,
lucky.
yeah.
My parents were like cool with the gap year. Actually, when I was playing Han, I moved in with my dad. But when I first started like trying to go pro at Han, because you're broke, you can't really
Yeah.
do much else. And then when I switched to Dota, not when I switched to Dota, it was like I remember I moved in with him for like a 7-month period and like a
Yep.
3-month period, I think. And otherwise, obviously, it would have been a lot more difficult to go pro. So shouts to Pop if you're watching.
Yeah, shout out to my mom who
And my mom,
apologized.
too.
My mom apologized. She's like, I'm sorry I didn't let you do it before. And I'm like, it's okay. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And we were
That was
good.
2 days ago.
Yeah, we were good.
Yeah, my mom was all about the gap year too, because that was why I started playing Han. I was like, this community college thing feels pretty depressing.
Yeah.
I'm not about this life. I'm gonna go try and
Do something better.
Yeah, I think
Now
most
look at
people
me.
have at least some parental support from that made it in professional gaming. At least I
Except
agree.
except one of the players in here,
Yeah.
MSS, who the whole story of him having to run away from home, get an
That's
offer
pretty
from
crazy.
EG. That's crazy. I wonder what they think now. I'm sure we could actually ask him sometime, but that is crazy if you think about it. Like, running away from home to play pro Dota it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
What if you just fail and then your parents don't accept you back?
Well, that's
That'd be
kind of
sad.
the risk you take, right?
It
I would
is.
say it's more likely to fail than succeed, but it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times.
You get back up.
Yep. And we actually have
Oh.
a quick intro video. VGJ.Storm, Team Secret. Hit me with it, baby. Or don't. I don't mind.
Roll it.
Had to hold it a little bit longer. That's this spell. What?
What the fuck was that? What was that?
That was the dankest thing I've ever watched. Well, I don't even know who the other two people were.
I think that's supposed to be you guys.
Oh, okay.
Maybe one was
Was that
supposed
me
to be
leaving
Rizzo.
the house as he comes in?
I guess.
Oh,
That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
that was sick. But we do have a draft. VGJ.Storm Secret. Right off the top, who is the favorite of this series?
I mean, look at those faces. You've got an obvious mastermind on your left. Then you've got just imported sex appeal. And they're just so American beautiful. I got to root for them. They're going to win.
Think. Brian, be unbiased here. Do you think VGJ.Storm, after watching him play today, do you think they're the favorite over Secret? Or is Secret still the favorite?
I think VGJ.Storm's the team that has to be beaten. I think that they're the ones that have kind of just shown up and just done their thing, and I think I would actually lean towards VGJ.Storm winning this series.
All right.
It'll be interesting. I think if Doom's left unbanned, unpicked, it's going to be game plan for it by VGJ. But I expect them to ban it here. I'd be very surprised if they don't.
Is that what Team Secret's been using this series?
Yeah, a lot of Lycan too. Kunkka Lycan, lots of Doom.
Yeah, but so Lycan does end up getting banned out. Do you think they first pick Doom here, or do you think they go back to their trusty bounty hunter that they first pick a lot?
I don't know if you can get away with first pick bounty against. It's like a great hero, right? But it really just means teams be more mindful of the courier.
Yeah.
And don't feed.
And pick
bounty,
cores that don't die.
Yeah, bounty doesn't really offer too much unless he gets going. But before arcanes and some levels, you really don't do any damage in a fight. So if you play in this tanky core meta, it's just really rough. The Night Stalker, all right. They have not opened with that, save one game, and it was one of the few games they lost in this tournament. In fact, one of the only 2 games they lost.
Do you think Secret prepared for OG and VGJ.Storm, or just for one team?
I think they probably just prepared for VGJ.
I think after watching the group, I think most people. I mean, you're smiling, but honestly, it did feel like if you watch group stages, VGJ.Storm looked like a far better team than OG. Like OG 2-0'd Mineski, but besides that, it didn't feel like they did anything.
Yeah, they looked rather unimpressive overall. Just inconsistent, I think.
Yep.
They didn't look like they were constantly delivering every game, and there were random item decisions or just drafting mistakes, I think, from OG that VGJ seems to have a good grasp on this meta, and it's interesting to see an NA team that you can say that about.
Yeah, it really is. And you see Gyro banned out. VGJ.Storm, they love just drafting either Gyro or Death Prophet first every single game, and they'll do it here.
Yeah, they
every
do
time.
it. They literally do it every game.
Yeah. Who do you think they pick up here? Do you think you pick up an MSS hero, or? Well, we're about to find out here. Looks like more than likely it could be, but that could be offlane as well. We've seen it in both. It's been 50-50 with Clockwork lately.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that hero. It seems like it's a little too early. Yeah, there's the Doom. See, I was about to say, the clock makes a lot more sense if you expect Secret to go Doom, and they do. because that's one of the best heroes. It's the same with all of these like movement speed based strength offlaners, the LCs, the Dooms, even like Brewmaster to an extent, where you always are able to find them and kill them in the lane. And I think DP also is probably your best anti-Doom core, because the drain on him is going to just heal you for 500, 600.
Yep.
Plus, as long as your ult's off, Doom is not as scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of confused about the Clockwork pick myself, but if you know what the enemy team is most likely going to pick, or at least that's what you're fearful of them picking, then the picks can definitely be viewed as like a preemptive counter to whatever you're expecting. And Doom has a super awkward animations as well, so sometimes you can't even get them off when you're under the effect of the battery assault.
Yep.
They actually ban out the Morphling when they have Nightstalker Doom.
I think that they just respect that hero. VGJ.Storm has picked that a bunch. Like I don't know how. I didn't see the game, but that first game, VGJ.Storm versus OG, I love OG's draft, the Drow lineup, and you're telling me somehow Yawar like crushed mid as Ember versus Drow or a Storm. I'd love to see that one. I don't know if that's possible.
It was definitely interesting. Yawar just looked like he had 0 deaths, and then the next game it was Resolution. Did he play Morphling game 1 or 2?
Game 1.
It was game 1. Okay. Well,
Game 2 they played that Gyro Dusa.
Yeah. And Resolution just went ham. It seems like as long as VGJ.Storm has one core who's farming, it doesn't matter which one, they seem to know what to do with it. That's the biggest thing. If you have a core who knows what to do with their farm, and honestly, BSJ, when I first started watching you 2 to 3 years ago,
here come
and I watched you, it was like I thought you actually had decent play, but you didn't know what to do with your farm. And like as a core, right? Like
it's one of the hardest things to do.
It is like what items you have, what lanes to go in. Like once you have farm, you do something with it. Like you used to be known for your PL, right?
Yeah.
And you would always be 6 slotted at like 30, 40 minutes in the game, but you wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, like knowing what to do.
My
with
life
farm.
story.
Yeah.
No, it's like I talked about it last game where we watched TNC. It's like they had no way to deal with Tinker, and even though all 3 cores on TNC had a lot of farm, none of them itemized to deal with Tinker.
Yep.
So you just don't do anything.
Yeah, I was looking. I think we were talking about like maybe a Blink Shiva's on the Razor.
I said like first item Yules into like Blink Shivas, with the BKB. That's what I was thinking.
It's interesting, right? Because I think one of the things that made this meta so cool is that the patch has allowed, like, there's so many items now, and there's so much variety you can build your hero with. And the teams that grasp that and always itemize for win conditions, like, in this case, right, you have to kill the Tinker to win.
Yeah.
Someone's got to say, all right, I'm going to kill the Tinker. And if nobody makes that decision at a certain point, like, he will just crush you unless he makes a mistake. And you never want to be in a position when everyone's this talented nowadays where you don't have an answer to an enemy player other than, okay, I hope they screw up.
Exactly. At least before it's a problem, too. Like, the problem is he recognized it later on in the game. He ended up going Blink BKB Shivas, but at that point the Tinker already has, like, 12 kills and BKB of his own, so it's no longer like an automatic death for him when he gets blinked on. And you said, isn't Rubik like one of the hardest counters to Jakiro?
Why is that?
Every spell you steal is great, the Q or the W, but late game ice paths like Jakiro, it's an instant cast ice path, right? 2.5 seconds stun on demand. The dual breath is really nice early game, especially when these Jakiros they keep maxing the spell. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think you just keep it at 2 points.
Well, Snaking, Beastmaster, we've seen. What's Snaking's 3 here? It's like Underlord, Abba, and Beastmaster. Seems to be his 3. And
any high pressure, lane pressure hero, I think is what they like, because Beastmaster's the one that actually ganks out of it, but even then, I think Snaking prioritizes just saying, you're going to have to deal with me all game while my other 2 cores farm it up.
Yep. I think that they also grasp like the way they want to play Dota, right? Where Snaking just kind of accepts, I'm going to feed a couple times just by myself up here by a tower. And it makes space for his cores. And VGJ is usually really good about ensuring they have some hero that's going to win them the game, and they try and activate him the best that they can. There's no like dual core. So I saw EG pick like Slark, Lycan, Morphling. Like, VGJ, if they're going to draft like 2 of these hard carry types, it's going to be a Gyro or a DP plus like say the Medusa, and it's a lot more. There's a defined like 1, 2, and 3. And there's a core that you can get ahead that then translates his advantage into towers and objectives and making space for this other Rezo hero to actually carry through the game.
I don't actually know what Team Secret picks to deal with this Beastmaster lane. I feel like some of the prime heroes we've been using, the PLs, the Gyros, even like the Lone Druids, are just banned out. So not very many choices left.
Me and Kyle have talked. Beastmaster just doesn't lose lanes. Like, when you go against Beastmaster, you just try to not die. Like, I just haven't seen this hero lose a lane.
Like,
you just throw axes and run at people.
You like try to kill him, and even when you kill him, it like ruins a lane, and then meaning it pushes it out towards his tower. He's gonna get levels anyway. So even if you don't lose, you don't win.
You definitely don't zone him with a Rubik Night Stalker either.
Yeah.
Like, you actually just don't do anything with those supports, Tim. Like, again, you can kill him, right? But you're going to use your whole mana pool, and then he's just going to show back up
with axes.
With 7 more mangoes.
Yeah.
What's up, Holmes?
Do you guys think I said, yesterday or 2 days ago, FY was the best Rubik, and a lot of people got mad and said Yapzor was.
No
what
way,
do you guys
man.
think?
FY is the best.
FY.
I mean, Yapzor's good. Don't get me wrong, but I was gonna guess Ember Spirit. I'm sad I didn't bring that up, but I like mid one. I like the mid one Ember a lot.
You think it's gonna be mid then? I don't think he can match up into the safe lane.
Yeah, they don't have real control for him, and he likes to get this early BKB. And once you have that, like, obviously you can get roared, but you're just not gonna die through their damage right now. And I think it's just a real method. It's a real win condition hero of sorts, and VGJ likes to play in 3 lanes. Ember can punish that with an early bots very well. And now you set up for your ace hero last pick. What was the question you had, Grant?
No, I didn't. I was like, you bring up bots on Ember Spirit. I don't know if you even saw the items. Yawar went treads first after Aquila on his Ember.
I think 2 or 3.
I think you have to in that sort of game. You're playing against Drow.Storm. Like, you can't afford to go
You're not worried
bots.
about the split. You're worried about them marching down. Marching down the lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Well, we have 4 heroes. Whose draft do you like opened here with the first 4 heroes?
I still got to say I like VGJ's. I think that it just makes the most sense to me. I think if your secret here, what they've done in the past is last pick Medusa, which is what I think they'll go back for here. It's just a question of what they ban. You probably, I don't know if you fear an OD, but you might fear an OD a bit.
If you pick Medusa,
yeah. I don't think VGJ would pick Invoker, but it's possible. They can't Nyx. Theoretically, they could AM, but I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, I remember at Epson we saw like 1 AM game. It was like the perfect AM game, and he still just lost. Like, AM doesn't feel like a hero anymore.
Quite an underwhelming hero. I feel like with the heroes they have on Team Secret, they just need a hero that lives in the safe lane. But there's been some weird priority at teams. Every game I think they're going to pick for the lanes, they pick for the scaling, and then every time I think they're going to pick for the scaling, they pick for lanes. And
was it Terrorblade? No, it is Medusa. Okay.
You read that like a book. So is that a safe lane Dusa or is that safe lane Ember?
I think you can put the Dusa against the Death Prophet. So I think that's what you want to do personally. It's one of the better matchups for a Dusa.
Can they not put the Death Prophet safe lane on the side of
That's
VGJ?
a good point. Yeah, you're right. I would if they pick a different mid hero, it all depends on the matchup, right? If it's a melee hero, you can just put the Dusa mid, and if it's something Ember can lane against, I think you want the Ember mid preferably because Dusa is also great at trading against Beastmaster lanes. Because you almost always get the snake off on him, and you just harass him out. You don't really feel the pressure too much. You have built-in sustain and the mana shield mechanic. So.
All right. Well, they have a minute and 10 seconds to think about it. You see them talking it over right now. What would you like to see? You need a carry hero, BSJ. You're the carry player on the panel. What would you want to play against this lineup?
They could Brood. That's a bit YOLO, though.
Nothing looks like perfect from the carry role. I think they're actually going to pick a mid here.
And just put Death Prophet. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
so many carries banned out. I mean, look at the banning pool for both teams. And
I hope they don't TA. I don't think they win the game with TA.
So is OD, you can pick OD here, or do you think it's still decent?
It's good, but it's not the traditional VGJ lineup. They wouldn't have a hero that kind of scales to deal building damage, which they seem to be a fan of a lot of the time.
And like flash farms.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, is they need some sort of flash farmer, but God, like so many of the flash farmers are just banned. Like, I think Troll would have been a good pick, actually, because it deals so well with heroes like Night Stalker in the early game. So it's like pretty independent, and that's usually what they like.
Yeah, and you don't want to PL or use some illusion-based hero because there's an Ember in the game. So.
Well, we're about to find out. It's a Shadow Fiend.
Oh, I like it.
That is a flash farming hero in the mid lane.
That's perfect too because they also wanted some sort of like mid game tempo, right? Because you don't want to just grab some like late game hero that can't team fight in the mid game. You're playing with DP Beast. Like, you're gonna want to be able to use this space not just to like farm some jungle, but to actually maintain presence in a lane and even hit towers and be able to link. That's what I think is super important with the VGJ plays is they have these fast early heroes that come online and then scale, the gyros, the DPs, and you want to be able to play around all the space that your supports and snaking is going to make.
And they have the clockwork too, so that's like
Oh yeah,
something we haven't even mentioned.
Yeah, seriously, that was
It's just a golden pick, I
But
think.
Are you guys worried about? I think Yawar's worst hero I've seen in the last couple tournaments they've played has been his Death Prophet.
He was crushing in
Was he?
Thailand, though, man. He played some really good games on it.
I think
Okay.
Yuar's become much more well-rounded in the recent past.
Just in a little bit.
I
Right,
think
you finally
you
go
can
to
learn a lot
lands.
playing with somebody like Rezo in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like the experience that I'm sure he's offered to players like Yawar, who are considered very high-skilled players, but have never really broken into the scene officially. And like, it doesn't take much for a player like Yawar. It's not like he can't learn these things. Just sometimes you don't get exposed to them. And I've been watching him so far, and very rarely do I see anything I'm like, wow, that just was bad. I feel like he knows his role in the team, like, and he's willing to play a 1 or a 2. Depending on the draft, but usually they're focused on Rezo, and I think that's quite a good player to do that for.
I think I know why, too, because when we were in DAC, right, I was playing a lot of basketball with Sumail, and I believe I saw this guy that actually stole one of the balls and brought it all the way home. It was actually VGJ Jack. And what I think happened is he stole some of Sumail's talent, and he gave it to his brother, Yawar.
Wow.
Kyle, would you be mad if you have a Clockwork Shadow Fiend and they pause on you?
A
Does this
little
ruin
mad.
your timing?
I mean, if you're talented, I feel like, I mean, at the end of the day, there's only 12 souls now, right? It used to be 18, so you have to be like really clutch if you wanted to get all of them. And nowadays, it's pretty easy. So I think you just stay cool, stay focused, and most of all, keep it BSJ.
All right. Sounds
At the
good.
end of the day.
Middle lane looks like not smoked up yet. They're going to run in, so it is going to be that middle Medusa, it seems to be. So it is going to be mid one not in the – is that going to be a safe lane, Ember, then?
Curious to see how that does
Yeah.
against the Beastmaster lane. Ember got that like base armor buff, but still only 3, and he doesn't exactly have a powerful laning mechanic. Exactly. I guess his shield is okay, but I think Cogs is 80 damage, right? It is indeed. So it is enough to break his shield.
I love this SF pick, I gotta say. I think it's like the dream SF game, and I neglected to realize that there's the clock, too, during the draft that, like, guarantees your laning phase. And if you look at the hero Secret has, you can't really pressure a Shadow Fiend all too well.
Yep.
Like, you would need both supports to kill him, especially considering it's going to be a Medusa in his lane matchup, right? So this is the play that I think could work. You just level 1 smoke and try and get him and cut those souls in half.
We're going to see if it works out here. And, well, SVG, he might be tanking this gank for him. He's going to get lifted up, thrown back, Void, Bolas. Will be an easy kill there. He goes down, but like you said, Resolution isn't the one dying, so he will have the 12 souls. Do you have to dual lane middle to go against that Shadow Fiend then?
It's hard, right? Because, like, who's actually going to dual lane mid? Especially now that Rubik's skilled lift and there were actually a Void and the clock pushback on the Night Stalker. He's sitting at 80 mana already with no mangoes. So, like, who actually runs mid to help him out?
I was going to say, I don't think them dual laning actually changes anything.
Yeah. He just hits too hard. Like, you just trade against them and get last.
And the nice thing about SF against Night Stalker is Night Stalker on the 4-minute mark, obviously, when the Night comes out, he's going to look to roam on any vulnerable heroes, and SF's a hero that by that point in the game, what he's doing is just double raising the wave and then leaving.
Yep.
And Medusa's not exactly a mid laner that is going to go hunt the SF with this Night Stalker. So I don't really see very many plays for this Night Stalker. I think Jakiro's a good support for deterring aggression from these type of heroes. So
Yeah, I think the VGJ draft is better. Like,
Yeah, I'm
for
going
sure.
with VGJ draft
It
as
looks so good on paper. You have a clock that can hunt like 3 heroes the entire game, and your Secret, you're kind of all in on this Ember Spirit, but there's enough lockdown through like the DP, like a Yules into Silence or Cogs. Like, just the thing I like is when you have DP clock, you always have Yules up into the frame cancel of a Cogs pushback, which means you can silence right on top.
Yep.
And that's something that like is super underrated. And I think when you're playing against Ember Spirit, if you have the ability to prevent his immediate remnant out, like it's always easier to kill him.
yes, exactly.
Like-
I think my question is, I really want to see like a Dragonlance or like a Drums type build on this SF. Like, I want to see him build right
Yes,
click.
he's going to. Rezo, I respect. He's almost always going for this right click build on SF, and I agree with you because I think that if he just gets an early BKB, right, how does he die if he gets that off before he gets
Yeah.
doomed? And if you look at their strength, like, they're going to have this crazy timing tempo push at like 20 minutes, 25 minutes in the mid game, where you have like a couple items on DP, an SF BKB, and an Aegis, and it's just like, oh shit, like, what does Secret do to stop them? They don't actually have any team fight. That's the thing that's missing from the lineup. No natural tower pressure and no team fight.
Yep. And if they mess up though, on the side of VGJ
Yeah,
sometime
for
in the
sure.
mid-game, this game will get really hard. That's the thing about these like timing push lineups, that they don't really have much room for error, but the way VGJ's been playing, I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. We didn't really talk about it, but they're actually running the dual offlane with the Death Prophet against this Ember Spirit and just putting the Beastmaster safe lane.
Every time I watch UR play Death Prophet, it seems he's in the off lane with somebody else.
One of the better heroes at it, but
So you guys are praising VGJ a lot, but they just lost 3 of the starting runes and First Blood. That doesn't have any impact, you think?
doesn't
Or
mean anything.
doesn't mean
certain
anything?
games it means something in like lane matchups where it's very volatile which one's going to win. I don't think that's really the case here.
Yeah, I also think that Rezo is just a better 1v1 player than Ace, and we're going to see him just take over this lane pretty soon.
All right. Well, Snaking's going to get an early level 3 here. MSS just trying to toy around over here with the offlane, pulls all the creeps back. Middle, obviously, Resolution is going to be winning this. He has so much base damage on Ace. Is there a chance for an early kill one-on-one with Resolution here?
I think so for sure. Now that he's level 3 especially, like you actually threaten really hard if Ace ever steps out of position.
That was a lot of damage from that snake, though.
Yeah, he's fine. DD top, though, that could be rough. Unless Rezo, does Rezo contest this?
Hits once, hits a raise. That's about it. Backs up.
I mean, he doesn't have any instant health regen or mana regen on Ace, so he's going to be not feeling too good for the near future, but either way.
I mean, no mangoes on Shadow Fiend. He has no mana, and he has a double damage. You can't just walk up and right-click him. So it's going to be pretty even now with that double damage. Bottom, Fada, he gets a Satyr creep, the best creep you can get right there.
Yeah, for sure. Especially against this lane.
Yeah, 9 HP regen with those 2 mangoes.
Yeah, the thing about top lane, though, I think this DP lane is going to crush it because Rubik is one of the weaker supports, like arguably the weakest support to have in a 2v2.
Unless you have kill potential.
Yeah, and Ember really just doesn't for quite some time. And there's a Jakiro who's like one of the strongest level 1 supports. And they're already crushing, as you can see. And DP's not going to die to these heroes either. So, like, what do you need a rotation from Night Stalker during night, but does that really do anything? Do you actually kill DP with 2 drains? I don't think so.
Guess we'll find out once it does hit that 4-minute mark. We'll see if any TPs are coming. SVG and the App Store fighting each other. You do talk about the top CS. It is UR in that offlane DP, Shadow Fiend, and Beastmaster. So all 3 are going to be Radiant. Resolution is running low on HP and mana, though. You see Health Potion bot and stash. But, of course, bottom lane's using it, and I'm sure Resolution's upset about that.
I'd be upset. BSJ would probably be running down mid.
I would have already sold my items. I wouldn't run down mid, though, because that can be detected, I think.
Is that still a problem?
Yes.
Do you still have a lot of those? Okay.
I have...
Well, you have people who just hate you and do it on purpose because it's you, but, I mean, you do, right?
It's because they're jealous, right?
Yeah.
That's the only possible reason. But they can't. There's no way they don't like me.
It's
How can you not like this face?
talking with Monkeys Forever in Boston. He had said the one guy he didn't understand was Trouf, and he checked his Dota buff, right? Because Trouf was always throwing his games.
Yeah.
And he realized that in the 89 games they played together in ranked matches, he had won 1 and lost 88.
No way.
Oh.
I believe it,
but middle lane right there. MSS and Vision actually scouts out that Puppy was running through. He doesn't know that he's coming back middle behind him, though, so it's going to be a 2-on-2 middle here, unbeknown to each of them.
Yeah. This is where SF's super scary, though. Aquila, a stick, and level 5. You ever catch a triple nuke, this guy against him is just going to die.
VGJ giving up these top bounty runes, it looks like, though. Puppy's just going to sit here and get it.
Yeah, they probably forgot.
Can you forget? Look at how much, watch this. 55 gold for it. That's 110 gold just right there for everyone on that team. And no one's gotten the bottom. I'm actually a little upset. They're just sitting here.
Yeah, if you can't focus on Midas usage, you got to focus on something nowadays, right?
Yep. And this MSS, he's like, oh, Rune's still here, so both teams still end up getting 2, even if it's late.
Yep. Yeah, but you can see up top, though, this is a big issue for Secret. And my concern is that you actually, even though it was first 2'd, right, nothing in their draft actually deals with the Death Prophet. Ever.
But now he's going to be, I think he's just going to probably, you think he's going to be fine here?
Okay,
he is level 5. They're going to rotate in. Puppy is going to throw out, but he gets a Zuck onto 2 people. He's going to go on to Puppy. He's going to try to run away, and
he's got
just
2
running
levels
the same
on
way.
mid
Uh-oh, is Puppy
Yeah,
actually going to die here? Doesn't look like it. Runs out of Spirit Siphons, and now he's just right-clicking.
6 stick on the DP as well.
Yep.
You actually can't kill this hero. In the
Great.
meantime, bottom lane, Doom's going to go down to
kill.
the rotate from clock.
I love this build by Yawari. He doesn't have any moves
Yeah.
like no boots. He just has the 2 nullies and the robe of the Magi.
Yep, I love it, dude. I hate when people buy boots too early. You just dominate the lane, right?
Boots are, what do they do for me? Do they make me more survivable? Can I be more aggressive? It doesn't actually change the way he plays this lane, so I definitely think that's a good on-the-ball, heads-up item adjustment that he probably learned with my promo code.
Yeah, well, we do see Shrine being used by both Beastmaster and Resolution. Do you think when Snake King hits 6, there's a possible rotation, or is he just going to stay bottom and bully the Doom?
I don't know if you need to rotate. Like, you're crushing all your lanes, and you just kind of sit in them. And then when you have the levels to go move, you do it for towers. I don't want anyone to move until that the ganks can land here.
That's what we saw
kills into
Mineski do
objectives.
earlier. And, like, you just pull ahead so drastically.
Oh, SVG's going to get thrown into the tower. Puppy's going to be here. He still throws some liquid fire in the tower to do some extra damage, but will be a kill. 3 heroes rotate here, though.
That kill doesn't mean anything, though. Like, they're still the ones taking damage on their tier 1 from the catapult. And
So you don't think giving Medusa gold matters at all?
I mean, it matters, but I
If
don't know.
you guys are writing out Medusa, because I heard Kyle saying Ember is the reason they're going to win this game. You don't think Medusa could just solo carry a game
He's
like
concerned
this?
about the, and I'm concerned about the timing push, right?
Yeah, Medusa might be like the win condition, but he doesn't buy time for himself. Like, that's on mid one's Ember.
Ooh, bottom lane, a 3-man rotation. Again, they're trying to body block. Snake King, they will get it. They're going to toss him, throw him back. Roar comes. He's going to try to run away. MSS is here. Puppy has to be careful. He can get that flying vision. He does. They're not going to be able to get Snake King. He has those early treads. MSS on the other end might be in a little bit of trouble. Axes fly, ton of damage, and they turn it. And now they're just going to get away. And, well, those level 4 and level 6 strength heroes, pretty good right now. Top lane, Ghosts are out, and they're just going to take an early tier 1.
Yeah, this is the issue with Secret's lineup, where they don't have the ability to actually deal with this pressure, because Nightstalker, Doom, Rubik are so incredibly low damage that, like, if they can't find kills, then what do? And there's 3 really, really tanky / powerful heroes all on VGJ.Storm's lineup, like, crushing their lanes. Like, even if you rotate on SF and he has a TB behind him, like, he'll just turn around and kill all of you if you don't 100 to 0 him.
Oh, come on, Rezo. Waste some couple seconds there, missing a creep.
Unbelievable.
So middle, what is CS we're looking at? 44-28. Obviously, what is that? 12 of those are cog denies, so still 45 and a lot. I don't feel like doing the math. And 43-15. It's actually reasonably even middle. Is that how it should be?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised about that. Maybe that DD had a lot to do with it, but we've mentioned time and time again that this Medusa, he'll be the one that scales, but if the Ember's having a rough game, they're not going to make it to that point. In my opinion. So
I actually don't know. Like, they literally have no damage. Do you see how crushed mid one got in this lane? Like, the Death Prophet has nearly 3 levels on him. He does have 3 levels on him at this moment.
Yikes. That was a lot.
18 denies. And I like what Yawar did here, as you said, like, just the double null into the robe, into treads. I think treads are a super underrated item on all heroes, but whenever you have, like, a 50 damage talent, like DP does, can't believe that's been unchanged, by the way. Since talents were, like, invented, he has had a 50 damage level 10. Like, why do you think this hero's picked? Like,
amongst other things. And I think treads are the best item that if you plan to just sit in a lane, they just, you farm faster, you have tread switching for abilities, you trade good, you're well. And, like, you just can't approach these type of heroes when they have these treads. Like, phases when you want to run around the map, but he has no intention of doing that, as we've talked about.
This is kind of sad. I'm just watching mid one, like, try to farm the Centaur camp, and it has taken him a little bit of time there. Well, bottom lane looks like they're going to find MSS this time, more than likely to be a kill. Fod'll pick it up. Will they get the stack now? I think they might have accidentally messed up the stack, though, so.
they got it. They got it.
They
got it.
Yep, they got it. Nicely done there.
Good job, Ace. The other thing is you can't buy phase anymore at the side shop, so treads are just super nice when you're a side lane player.
Do you like the medallion on Snakey? I thought he was going it. No blink, no shadow blade, no book. He goes for the medallion.
All low armor heroes on the side of Secret.
Hook missed on the Night Stalker, and yeah, I agree. Especially when you have a lineup that's like this strong and powerful level 1, or early game rather. No one else can buy a medallion, and it's cheap enough that I think it's almost always worth for someone to pick up. This would make their inevitable Roche much easier as well. You could argue the DP would get it, but I think that she wants the Yules first for sure. And medallion with the natural, like, SF, right-click, DP, like, minus armor is so value for this team.
And he's going drums first on the... Ooh, wait up. MSS has found Puppy. Sorry, it is daytime. He can't fly over. This is looking like it's just going to be a kill. They're going to try to go in. This could be a kill for mid one or Ace. It will be for Ace. So 1-for-1 trade. Medusa. Medusa's on a killing spree.
In bottom lane, he gets doomed, but he's actually just going to walk away. I think he's fine. And Snaking may be the one in trouble.
Another Infernal
that
Blade.
Max Infernal Blade. Too much damage.
Soul Axes. That's actually a huge spell, though. That's like the best Rubik spell to steal at this stage of the game. Like axes, like you're a Beastmaster now.
It amps your other damage, too.
Yeah. It's really, really nice for
So it
Rubik.
does amp Fade Bolt.
Yes, so all sources of damage from the Rubik.
Damn.
Top lane, Ember hunting SVG a little bit, but I think he'll be fine. There's a ward on the side that actually saw Ember, so now it's more of a bait. Level 6 on that Clockwork. Remnant up for a couple more seconds on mid one. I think he's going to be fine no matter what, though.
And he actually used it at the last second. Looks like he wants to stack the Ancients possibly for his teammate, or is he
Nope.
just going to defend middle? Has to defend
He
middle.
can't
when he
actually
runs
defend
out.
this, I don't think.
I do think Secret's doing a good job. They can't defend, but they're slowing down this push.
Oh, looks like they might be able to defend. They're going to be able to get Bolas up on Death Prophet, and she's in a lot of trouble, and she just instantly goes down. Resolution might get chased down now, has the raindrop.
Oh, I would have liked
it
to
out.
see them maybe pursue a bit there, but they're running into SF ulti with only, and they know they have no disables, but a little misplay there from Yawar. I think if he pops ulti like right away and positions a bit better, maybe he can survive there, but that was also the Rubik Axes coming in where the burst damage he pumped out were nuts, and now look what he stole. Exorcism. That's super big for Secret because, as we talked about many times, they have no real method of taking towers or objectives if they get these pickoffs and kills. And as you can see, VGJ has no issues with that. They'll sack heroes, but they're going to always get towers off the trades.
Ember is going for that first item, Boots of Travel, like you said he would. So what does he want to do with that? Does he just farm, or does he have to be active on the map with them?
Is he really going bots? I don't know, man. I am not sure.
Oh, and here we go. Exorcism popped by Yap, so he's just getting run down. MSS taking so much damage, but they get the kill, and the Exorcism kind of wasted. In bottom lane, well, guess what? There's 5 Radiant heroes here. They're just going to push this tower in. I lied. MSS is rotating around somewhere else.
I expect them to, after this tower, to start playing around top, because you can pressure that tier 2 and then look to take Roche when it's convenient for you, maybe with the next Exorcism. But it looks like Secret actually intends to defend. And
They're defending
Puppy's
every
running
tower.
in, yeah, and I think they're doing what they need to do here.
Yeah, they are. And Ace is having a great game.
He isn't out there going in. Mid one is going to hit the double bola. It is going to go on to Yawar, who is just going to go down. SVG in a lot of trouble as well. And well-defended tower, plus 2 kills there. And yeah, Ace gets another kill. Mask of Manus, Phase Boots, Quill are up.
Ace is huge, man. He actually did so much better in this game than I would have expected. Like, considering how difficult his matchup is mid, like the fact that he stayed even, got those extra kills. I think the first blood helped a lot though, because
Yeah.
he did have like that extra Wraith Band to start the laning phase, which is the only. It's actually such a huge deal. I think that's worth like 10-20 CS easy.
Yeah, I think the mid lane went way better than it should have.
Oh,
on paper.
Fada dodges a hook right there. Now drums, they're going to try to run out, and they'll just get away.
I think
And this-
VGJ has to get a sense of urgency here. Like, they've
Yep.
given away, I think, way too many kills to Secret, who is up by 2,000 gold at 14 minutes in. And
Thing is, I don't know if you really can. Look at Puppy. He's running around Radiant Jungle with 3 wards. 4 wards, actually. He's placing wards everywhere. And look at the map control they have now of enemy jungle. This is super good from Secret, because for the rest of this like mid game, they want to just mirror the movements of VGJ. Play their woods, enemy woods with Medusa, and just have Ember like botsing in and out if needed, right? Because you don't ever want to contest VGJ in a real team fight when all their spells are up.
I think Yawar might be in a lot of trouble bottom right now.
yep, dead lane, boys.
Oh, the snake. Ugh.
Max, he's trying to get it, but he just goes down.
Yeah, they don't really have a hero that naturally defends towers on the side of VGJ, other than maybe the Jakiro, but I think he needs to be a part. I don't know. I think this is kind of weird. I feel like Jakiro should be bottom while DP is top.
Actually, gets full again. I missed the kill on Snake King, but
Yep.
sure that had to do with it. And a lot of kills going down. You guys were saying VGJ.Storm was looking pretty good like 5 minutes ago.
We also said they have very little room for error, and
They committed a few errors.
Yeah.
It's the deaths around towers, right? In
Uh-oh, MSS.
He's got hook.
Puppy might just try to block it here. Gets silenced instead. What does Resolution have? He has drums, treads. They're just going to try to run after. This should be at least a kill on Puppy. They're going to hook. He's going to trap him in. It is nighttime. He's silenced. He can fly over the ice path. Will get him.
Ember's in.
And now, yeah, Ace killing MS on the backside. Ember's in. Here comes the ulti from Shadowfiend. Will slow everyone down, but he's taking so much damage. Ace just right-click him. In comes Fada. Fade Bolt gets the kill now. SVG's going to get right-click down. He should die here. throws out a dual breath, but doesn't matter. Snaky on the backside will get a roar off, gets the kill. They're still diving on the backside.
Dude,
Doom comes out.
Does so much
Yawar
damage.
is going to go down. Can they kill Fada? Looks like he will drop as well.
Dude, this Max Infernal Blade Doom, like running around, he has phase drums and 1,800 health. He just runs in, and that Infernal Blade outputs so much DPS. I love watching teams that utilize this Doom with the Max Infernal Blade. 1-1-4. Just go that build. All you pubs, run at people, smack them with the blade, turn them to fire. It's good.
I'm personally a fan of the Max Devour and the Raw Midas.
Well, explains why you're sitting here with us, my friend.
What does that mean for me?
So Ace is very close to a full Hurricane Pike already, and that hero is going to be pretty tough to kill, especially if he keeps playing like how he does. He just farms the jungle, farms the lane, repeat.
They don't have
Dire
a late
Medusa
game.
is great for this triple camp right here, and he's utilized it very well. Always stacking, always getting a ton of good efficiency off of it.
But I was going to just say that VGJ does not have the late game to deal with this Medusa.
Yeah. They're going to hit a point in their draft where you actually won't be able to kill him.
Oh, Puppy, the chicken. They're trying to juke, but look at that. Flying Vision gets the kill. Yawar's coming over, but guess what? They can't do anything. Oh, Snaking just got roar up. And he just gets in and out. And that's that Vision you talked about. Puppy placed like 4 wards in the bottom lane, and now Beastmaster thinking about roaring. He's going to get lifted off instead. Infernal Blade's going to fly. They're going to try to turn on him. Snaking will get a roar off on Doom. They're going to run at him, but Puppy, Fada end up killing him. They're going to hold him down into this macro pyre. Ton of damage. Yapzor actually casts Shadow Fiend's ultimate. Going to throw out a Fade Bolt. Now Ace is here. Gets a ton of mana back from that Snake, and now there's going to continue to run. Ice Path flies from Yapzor. It's going to hold MSS in place. Shadow Fiend from the low ground. A lot of misses, and he might just get right-clicked down. He's trying to run away. Has the drums. And it looks like they will get out.
But
that is Ghosts. Yeah, Ghosts
are
are
back
used.
there for sure. Once the Ghosts get popped, just look at where they're playing too. And you can see 2 sentries placed by SVG, but they miss all the wards placed by Puppy earlier. So like this is exactly what you want to do if you're Secret. Force VGJ to play their jungle under your vision and far away from your towers. And look where Ace goes straight back to. That tasty triple camp where you just kind of squat here and farm 500 gold per minute.
Yeah, they do not want to be playing on their side of the map on VGJ right now. That is the complete opposite of their way to win this game, but they don't really have a choice if Secret's up in their face constantly, and they've defended. It took them too long to take the tier 1s, I think. They gave away too much to Secret. The Ember, who pretty much got shafted in the laning stage, is now ahead of the Death Prophet in net worth.
And I think that goes back, right? That one defense they had on that bottom tower, by keeping this tower alive, you can't even invade that shrine area.
Hook onto Puppy up top. Puppy taking a lot of damage from the clockwork. No urn charges, though. Yep. The shrine, though.
She's getting away, but in comes Snaking now. Book 1 is up, but they'll just get a run back.
I think the other thing we didn't recognize the importance of was that Secret's got Doom. And they played this hero like 5 times. In the
You're the one who brought that up. You said
they're
going to pick it if it's there, and they did.
Yep.
Or have a way to deal with it.
And they don't have like a true answer on VGJ. The clock is good, like the DP is good, but the thing is that they killed Doom in that last fight, right? He's got 3 deaths, but he does so much damage, and it's just such a great hero, right? He's walking around with a wolf inside of him. Like that just makes his Medusa just 30% more damage. And you have permanent flat cannon on thanks to split shot. So it's kind of like a gyrocopter, but better once you hit this stage of the game.
Yeah, I've always liked to think that I've got the wolf inside of me too, you know?
Spirit of the Wolf.
I always thought of you as having more of a tiger.
Tiger?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, like Daniel Tiger, the 5-year-old kid show.
Yeah, like there's no tigers in Dota, though, which is probably, again, part of the reason that you're casting here with us.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you're VGJ.Storm? I mean, they're clearly on the back foot now. What do you have to do? Like, get a good smoke gang on Medusa? Does that even do anything?
I don't think so. He's too farmed at this point. I actually can't believe how farmed Ace is. He has 200 CS in 20 minutes.
Ooh, Doom. Doom's running. My goodness, he's moving pretty fast. Ice Path level 1, gonna get shot out by Yapzor. Won't hit anyone. They're still trying to go. Ice Path from SVG won't be enough. They're gonna throw him back. This could just be killing MSS.
Oh my gosh, Yawar's doomed already. He's just dead.
He's
Holy
dead.
shit,
The
he takes a crit.
Look at that. He's just right-clicks. He's going to go down on the backside. They find SVG as well. He's dead. That's a 3 for 0.
Yeah, this is a game.
Yeah, let's move on to game number 2. It's not like you can even invade the Medusa's farming patterns because you just got this Ember Doom in your face all game, and you have to basically fight your way through these meat shields. And by the time you can maybe do that, Medusa's going to have like a full Scotty. Does he already?
No, he doesn't have yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's close.
That rocket from Yapzor actually scouted out all of them, and top lane. Beastmaster, he's going to try to run away now. Infernal Blade's on him. He's in a lot of trouble, though. Axes will fly. He gets the Rarf. This will be a turnaround. The two most farm heroes on the Radiant, able to get a kill onto Fada. Middle lane SVG. Got to be careful there.
I'm really impressed by how Midwinds played this game, considering he went just Aquila to raw bots and he's 2-1-10. Like, he got crushed in his laning phase, and he's just recovered and been a part of a lot of these mid-game turnarounds.
We've been seeing this, right? It used to be a month ago, if you win all 3 lanes, you're going to win the game. But the top 3 CS at, 5 minutes in, were all Radiant? But it just doesn't matter at this point.
Ace did not get crushed in his lane. That's the important thing.
Crushed.
We saw about the first blood and the fact that he got that DD rune. All of us expected that mid lane to go way differently. And even though I guess I didn't really think it would matter that he had a decent start because he wouldn't make space for his team, but that timing window for VGJ is shorter because of the fact that he had that good start. And these few deaths have just really racked up, and suddenly they have no way to invade because they have no towers. Yep. And those towers would mean they'd lead to Roche as well, which would have already been taken. These objectives snowball, and if you shut down the snowball, then suddenly you can't take anything.
Do you think part of the issue is that they might not have enough reach? Like, it's just the clockwork, really, that can find plays around the map, and it's very cooldown dependent. Maybe if this Jakiro's a disruptor, like we've seen SVG play
Well, here's
a
a smoke gank, and they are going to be looking, but might be Fada. He doesn't have his blink up right now. They do get some. They get Fada, but they do have the shrine. You have to be careful. Will they be able to get to it in time? He cogs them in. They have the ghost coming out. A buyback instantly. Will he go down? No, they get the shrine. He's going to run. We do have a hook shot on the backside. He's still healing up, though. Ace gets so much HP and mana from that. They hold him down again. He will die, but everyone else is going to die as well. Yapsor owning. Snaking, you are going to go down as well. And only Yawar survives, but guess what? Not for long. Yule's into the air, and well, he's just going to die here. Does heal up quite a bit. Fada taking a ton of damage, but goes down. And
it took so long to kill Ace.
That's a Scotty Dusa on the high ground with a shrine behind him.
And he didn't even have level 20 yet, by the way. He's very close.
He actually just lives there with level 20, 100%. That would have been nearly 1,500 more EHP, actually more than that.
Looked like they did a good job, right, of keeping him off the shrine, but Medusa, as you said, so farmed early, can just survive enough and makes it. And a good buyback there from Fada.
I was going to say that they don't really have reach, so their lineup was entirely predicated upon pushing all the lanes, forcing you to come to them, and then they kill you that way. And then once they shut down these tower pushes, when you have heroes like Ember that you don't have reach against, and you can't force the lanes in, they don't have to come to you unless they want to, and that all these cases have been on VGJ's side of the map, except for that last one, but that was on top of a shrine. And that seemed like best case scenario for VGJ because that Medusa, like we said, didn't have the level 20, and it's just going to get harder. And I like the Doom's build as well. He knows he just needs to throw his body at them. Even if he dies, as you said, he just takes so long to kill, and he does so much damage.
That's a smoke right under his ward. Puppy's warding this game has been just outstanding.
Look at the vision they have.
4 wards again,
There's 5 on the map.
5. That is crazy. And they have them everywhere, right? Middle, top, and even one bottom. And guess what? You are not going to find anyone. And they're probably going to expect you going to Roche here.
Yep, and this is something they wanted to have done 10 minutes ago, right? But they've been behind on the back foot. Now you're going to walk into a fight. This is a Scotty Doozer with ult up, level 20. This is scary.
And here we go. He's just going to pop ulti. Does get the ice path off, trying to block off. SVG might just die. Ulti flies. They instantly blow up the Shadow Fiend. Everyone is just going to die. Roshan kills Snaking, actually. And then Ace just gets everything.
And that is the Rubik into Jakiro as well, where just immediate steal on the ice path stuns all 3 in the pit, and like that's all, folks.
That's all just this one ward middle, right? Like you see him, they're like, oh, I wonder where they're gonna smoke. Oh, they don't find a hero. They're obviously gonna go into Roshan, and that's just
process of elimination.
That's
when you're this
IQ.
far ahead, it's pretty straightforward for them to know that like there's nothing else on the map for them, and I
think this is a smart, like early good game call, right? Like you don't just want to keep getting beat down.
You're not the team that comes back here.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
really well played.
That was amazing by Secret. They obviously, you brought up that if the Doom gets let through, Secret's going to take it. Do you think they should first ban that hero on VGJ?
I think you have to. That seemed way too strong. Like, mid-one's rotations were great, but a couple of those early kills are literally just because there's a Doom with Max Infernal Blade, and he just smacks you twice, and you're going to die. Like, I don't think you can deal with this here. I actually want to check out the damage numbers real quick. So yeah, Doom with 9K, which isn't super high.
13K.
Yeah. Oh, 13, yeah, sorry. So
That's pretty high.
He was in second, yeah. Ember actually finishes in fourth on his team, but it was YapzOr and Fada. Like, they were just actually dealing so much damage. I think YapzOr had a ton of great spells to steal. You saw him get axes like 2 or 3 times that game. Ice Path in the later fights. He had that one exorcism that they wasted, but he's dying to 4 heroes in the enemy jungle. You don't really care so much. And Fada, again, just smacks people with a blade.
Can you pinpoint where VGJ.Storm kind of lost the game? Was there like one moment?
I think that the deaths they had at mid, like Yuar's death at mid tower was pretty big because he used exorcism just
at
before
the last
he died.
second. Yeah.
So not only does his game get set back, but now they have 2 more minutes where they can't actually group up to go for some tier 1 into tier 2, because when you're grouped as 4 at a tier 1 and the enemy, Secret knows you have exorcism, they don't necessarily want to defend, right? Because they won't win that fight, which means you can now pop it for the tier 2. And you're usually in a position where you're either going to take a favorable team fight or get 2 towers. They never had that window, and then when they fought bottom, I think Yuar just died again because they just immediately went for him with the Doom, the Rubik, and a bots in from mid one. So.
Now, guys, I do want to say, before this, I'm like, Yuar, when I watch him play Death Prophet, he doesn't have good games. And you guys convinced me that he would play a good game, and then what happened?
So
he did not play a very good game. I'm not a fan of his Death Prophet. Like, I think you put him on different heroes. I personally... I
also think some of those games may have been against teams
Lower
that aren't
teams.
quite the same tier as Team Secret, and we were doubtful of their ability to basically hold on until they hit their timing. We already mentioned Ace's timing was accelerated based on what we thought it would be for the mid lane, and like you're basically the team that's trying to force the issue the entire time, and it's kind of like this constant push, and all they have to do is slow you down. And usually that involves at least making the push take a minute instead of 20 seconds or 30 seconds. But in this case, they are straight up killing VGJ, and that makes it so like the next push after is drastically slowed. They come to this tier 1 bottom. I mentioned yesterday to you, and I'm sure Kyle already thinks this, that's one of the hardest towers to take.
Yep.
And since they're not far enough ahead at that stage in the game, they get shut down at that tower. They just hit the wall. The wall's now there, and
you have to take
Ace
that
was
tower,
so
right?
Farmed.
Yeah,
you have
like
that tower is
Medusa.
going to help lead to other towers, and like the gold, the map control, like that. You said that tower's usually not that important, but it actually helps invade the triangle.
Yeah. And Medusa's also really. Honestly, you're not supposed to be that farmed at that point. Like
especially against the Shadow Fiend with souls, right?
He's got a mask, an extra Wraith Band, and Aquila and Face, and it's like 12, 13 minutes into the game, and like. He's a hero. He can actually take part in these team fights.
Yep.
He's a phase boots Dusa, just like running around. Like you don't care about him. He's gonna be in the jungle somewhere, or he's just gonna feed under tower. But they also, I think Secret controlled Vision really well. MSS like playing Clockwork instead of one of those more impactful supports we usually see him on, like the Leshrac.
Tusk.
There's no Clock's reach is not nearly as significant because you're very ult based, and that the cooldown on that is so high, and you're playing against these heroes that are very fast. You can't really kill Ember until like the later game. Their whole draft is predicated, as BSJ said, on being ahead. When they have that item advantage, you can just bowl over Secret, but at this point it just didn't happen. And I would give my MVP to probably Fata or YapzOr. I think they all played well though. Ace for being more farmed than he should be against what I would say is one of the better 1v1 players in the US, and mid one for getting absolutely handled in the laning phase and yet recovering and definitely doing a great job. I think maybe they lose the game if he goes for more of those catch-up items, right? If he's like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, I gotta buy, I don't know, drums or medallion or something. He's like, nah, I'm buying bots for Gucci. I'll go find some kills.
The last point I want to make is like, it may sometimes be oversimplifying Dota, but when you pick these heroes like Clockwork, for whatever reason so far this tournament, a lot of teams are not picking heroes that don't die to Clockwork. And suddenly you have Rubik in the support role. You have Medusa, who naturally builds Hurricane Pike. And you have an Ember. These heroes just don't die to Clockwork.
Yeah, Night Stalker too, right?
Yeah,
I
mean, that was already picked, but at the same time, they have the Doom that's like their bread and butter. Okay, we have one hero that doesn't necessarily deal with Clockwork all that well, but we have 2 Force Staves and a Rubik, and like the Clockwork, you just see his impact. Like even though he has 5 kills, like you didn't feel like, wow, what a scary hero in this game. We've been seeing Clockworks like against Razor yesterday, where wherever he goes, hooks off cooldown, dead hero, and that's just not what we saw this game.
I point to the Jakiro as well. I think the rotations can be better. I think that if that Jakiro is, or even Tusk, like How to put it? They just don't feel like they did enough damage, and they didn't provide enough reach for their team. I think if that's a disruptor, like just maybe some disruptor tusk, this game feels a lot smoother. But I stand by again. The once Medusa gets ahead and can just chill at that triple camp, like you're gonna have a rough time because they don't have any real ability to invade that area. The first time they did, he had a Scotty.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And they were close, right? They almost did bring him down. Do you think, like, could that fight have gone differently if they did kill him before that, or do you think they were just going to get cleaned up either way?
Yeah, you see, they wanted that fight maybe 5-10 minutes before,
Yeah.
and then Medusa doesn't live for so long that you're all at a point where you just get wiped by the sweep of the rest of Secret's heroes. They need that fight where they kill 3, kill 4 in a tower, and then they have this like commanding lead. But it just didn't happen. Rezo was like 1,000 below Medusa for a while. It's just not happening.
Yeah, well, that's the end of game one. VGJ.Storm, people coming into it probably were thinking they're good, but Team Secret, you know, one of the 3 who already qualified for TI, people know they're good. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll find out, is NA back or...
Back to the dumpster.
I was going to say back to the dumpster.
Good, what a red eye. But we will take a short break, and we will see you soon.